Verse 3, and Yahweh said unto Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man that fears Elohim and hates evil? And still he holds fast his integrity, although you move me against him to destroy him without a cause. And Satan answered Yahweh and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man have will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse you to your face. And Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. Now, remember what was said before. He said you can do whatever you want to his stuff, but you have to save his life. You notice he killed all the kids, but you notice he didn't touch the wife? That was his life. Verse 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of Yahweh, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, do you still retain your integrity? Curse Elohim and die. Now, first of all, the reason she is not dead is because of him. But for her own convenience, she said, look here, man, I'm being inconvenienced by this whole test thing that, Yahweh doing with you. Why don't you just go ahead and curse him and die and make things easier for me? Sometimes Yahweh will test you with the very things that are closest to you. This, my friend, her whole being saved from all this was because of him. And this is who she turned on. Verse 10, but he said unto her, you speak as one of the foolish women speak. What shall we receive good at the hand of Elohim? And shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. And now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, for they had made an appointment to gather to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. Now, I don't know if y'all read the rest of this story, but if I lose all my sons and daughters, and then Yahweh afflict me with boils all over my body and all these things, I hope the people that come to see me don't be like Job's friends. If that's what y'all coming with, please stay at home. If y'all gonna come and comfort me like they comforted Job, please don't come. Because some of the stuff that they accused this brother of was absolutely horrible. With friends like this, I don't need no enemies. Here it is, man. This brother was going through it. And then they went self-righteous on top of the brother, man. Yeah, man, if that's all y'all got to offer me, man, when I go through something, man, stay at the crib, man. Text me. You know what I'm saying? Don't even come, man. Just, yeah. Verse 12. And when they lifted up their eyes afar off and knew him not, they lifted up their voice and wept, and they rent every one his mantle and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great. Now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 24. And what we have to, one of the things we have to take from this, be very careful when you see a man is being tested and you perceive him to be all the way down, and you begin to boast yourself against him. Least Yahweh restore that man everything he has taken from him and more, then you look like the fool. Isaiah 24, verse 1. Because you don't know how long a test is going to go. Test may go several years, and it may look like this dude is a straight bomb to you. Yahweh working him out. And sometimes we extend the workout because we don't want to listen. The test could have been like a week, but we no, what I'm going to do, okay, well, this is unrighteous. Okay, so instead of killing the monkey, I'm just going to choke the monkey. Okay? You're going to keep extending Yahweh sticking his foot in your rear. So you just going to cut it off a little bit and a little bit, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And Yahweh going to deal with it until he get tired of dealing with it. Isaiah 24 and verse 1. Behold, Yahweh makes the earth empty and makes it waste and turns it upside down and scatters abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be, as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with the mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of interest, so with the giver of interest to him. So all these people that think they're going to escape all these things, he's basically saying, you all going to go through this. You going to see this right here. All right, you going to see it. Now, his servants, they're going to behold it only with their eyes, and it shall not touch them, but they're going to see it. Remember, it says what we read earlier, some people going to see some things and their heart's going to fail them. They're going to have a heart attack and die just looking at it. So it's going to be that grievous just to look at it, much less to have to go through it. Verse 3, the land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh has spoken this word. The earth mourns and fades away. The world languishes and fades away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the habits thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. And we know that the covenant of the Sabbath was a perpetual covenant. Perpetual means forever. All right, forever don't end. Okay, so, and we know that they have changed all of the ordinances that were supposed to happen within this book. This is why Yahweh gonna make everybody come up to keep that Feast of Tabernacles. 9 out of 10 people ain't never heard of the Feast of Tabernacles. They don't even know what that is. And some of them have been going to church for 20, 30 years. But it's not their fault per se. They're following leaders. But if the blind lead the blind, they both gonna fall into a ditch. It ain't just the leader that's falling into a ditch. If Stevie Wonder driving your car, you're both gonna die. Verse 6, therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourns, and the vine languishes. All the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of the tabrets ceases. The noise of them that rejoice ends. The joy of the heart ceases. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And you know the destruction is there when, you know, there ain't no happiness. None whatsoever. Everybody walking around with a frown on their face. There's a cry for wine in the street. People want some wine so bad. Because what it says, let a man drink and forget his troubles, at least for the day. That's written. Verse 12. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of Yahweh. They shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify you, Yahweh, in the fires, even the name of Yahweh Elohim of Israel in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. And when you look at how far off people have gotten with what's written in this book, we find that they have dealt very treacherously against Yahweh's word, because half of the things that we find that is going on now is not written in this book whatsoever. And then the things that are written in this book are not even considered. Verse 17, fear in the pit and the snare are upon you, O inhabitant of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he who flees from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that comes up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. And it's talking about the foundations of the earth, okay? Now we're talking about more than just a little bitty earthquake now. Now we're starting to get into some real stuff. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. And y'all done seen the drunk man stagger. You know the drunk man stagger with the pivot foot. With the 1 foot that just keep going all the way around and he just all over the place. This is when the earth has so many earthquakes that it gets knocked off this axis. It ain't even spinning right now. Now it's spinning and it's got some real crazy thing going on. So if you think other people, ain't gonna know Yahweh is definitely uttering his voice from heaven just because they on the other side of the world, they gonna know that something's going down. They gonna know this everywhere. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Remember, it's the kings of the earth that Lucifer has tricked to come in and go to war, but Yahweh let him do it so that he can deal with them. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. The moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when Yahweh of hosts shall reign in Mount Sion and in Jerusalem and before his ancients gloriously. Let's go to Psalms chapter 78. Psalms 78. So we know that this is a great, great thing that is coming upon us, Israel. And Yahweh just didn't leave this legacy to us just to be leaving it to us. This right here is for us to be prepared for the things that are coming about, that are coming among us. Psalms 78 and verse 1. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. Now, our fathers haven't told us anything. We don't have things handed down to us like this. And these are things, these oral traditions, these were things that were normal back in those days. They talked, to their sons and explained. And remember what it was written in the law, explain these things unto your sons. So when they ask, why do we do these things? You can explain them, we were servants in the land of Egypt, and this is why we do this. Verse 4, we will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of Yahweh and his strength and his wonderful works that he has done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in Elohim and not forget the works of Elohim, but keep his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with Elohim. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of Elohim and refused to walk in his law, and forgot his works and his wonders that he had showed them. Marvelous things did he in the sight of their fathers in the land of Egypt, in the field of Zoan. He divided the sea and caused them to pass through, and he made the waters to stand as an heap. In the daytime also he led them with the cloud, and at night with the light of fire. Now, how is it Israel can see all of these things, can see, we're talking a cloud and then a fire. We're talking about they can see the spiritual aspect of these things and still turn away from the righteousness